The free $20,000 MLB 10 Runs for Free Cash contest is now live at SBRforum.com. What is the contest? It's simple. Each day in a designated SBR Forum post, you pick one team that you think will score 10 or more runs that day. You qualify to win $100 that day if you are correct. Each day the game continues, you pick another team. And every time your team scores 10 runs, you'll be adding onto your total score. The contest is split into 3 segments, and at the end of each segment, the top scorers split $2,500. And at the conclusion of the contest, there's even more cash up for grabs, in total over $20,000. And I know what you're thinking. You can just pick the Yankees every day and win. No, you can only pick the same team once per week. Check out the link in the description for more info and see you in the SBR Forum for the contest.
It's going up on a Tuesday. Welcome into the SBR Major League Baseball show. We are ready to get after today. Yesterday, thank you, Toronto Blue Jays, for your big 9th inning, cashing my value ticket in. But it is a full slate. Hey, we know it's football season. We get it. But there is a lot left on the bone the rest of the season for Major League Baseball. I'm Donnie Seymour along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. And we are the SportsBookReview.com Major League Baseball team. I got to tell you, as ugly as it looks, the Mets might make an appearance on my card, Jason.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, well, they did blow one just last night, and so that wasn't fun. But, the Mets, and they're back. They're back in the race because of getting to go up against the Nationals and, of course, now the Marlins. So that's always fun. But, I hit my big play of the day yesterday. Got the Astros over their 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total. They got I think 7 or 8 in the first 5 innings, so that was really fun. And back with another play today.
Awesome. It looks like my camera has a lot to play with today too as well. I have no idea why YouTube treats me this bad on this show here, but it does, and we'll fight through it for another show. But as I go in and out and dark and on and off, the plays will still come out somehow, Kyle.
That's right. Hey, good day yesterday, our play of the day. The Dodgers made it easy on us. We got our strikeout prop. We start the show with some singing, and we can't say those ladies are Tuesday. I'll tell you that right now. That's a fact. So I love the vibes. Ready to rock and roll. I think there's a lot of juiced up stuff here, but it's a full card, a lot to go over. Plenty of baseball. Football is not taking over just yet. A couple more days. Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, let's have some fun today on the Major League Baseball show. In-game live updates, don't have any today. Why? Because there are no games that we need to be going over in-game for a live update. But let's continue down the board here and get it started off in style. Toronto and the New York Yankees. How about Matt's coming to the mound today? And I thought the interesting part of this game, Jason, I'll start with you first. Matz has decent numbers over the past 30 days against right-handed lineups, and we know that the Yankees are going to throw that at him. If we look at the lines across the board, Garrett Cole, obviously an ace. Opened up at 183 offshore, now 221. Here in New Jersey, 215. FanDuel now up to 235. 8.5s across the board. Are we looking at runs, or is Cole just going to go out there and dominate this Toronto lineup, and hopefully the Yankees can hit tonight?
Yeah, so for whatever reason, my computer is freezing a lot lately. So if I'm stuttering a little bit and I can't figure out the numbers I'm trying to talk about, that's why. It's the computer. It's not just me. But Cole, 2.19 xFIP in his last 30 days. He's been tremendous. 40.06 or 40.6% strikeouts in the last 30 days. He's been unreal. And then, of course, you look at this Blue Jays lineup. The ISO power numbers, just 178. It's not as high as it used to be against righties. And I know Springer's going to be out a little bit next couple of days. He's day to day, and apparently today is not his day, so he won't be in the lineup there for the Blue Jays. And then also, they do just strike out 17.3% of the time, so we'll see if Cole is able to get a high amount of strikeouts against them. But yeah, I mean, look, you'd be crazy to go up against Cole right now. Steven Matz has looked a lot better recently. Like Donnie just pointed out, you go back into August, 27.2 innings pitched, allowed 24 hits and 7 runs, but only 4 were earned and allowed just 1 home run. That was the big thing when he was with the Mets. He allowed a ton of home runs, and that's why he couldn't sustain any success. And then you go against the Orioles in his first start in September, allowed 2 runs, no home runs, did have 4 walks in that game, but again, he's been really good. A 1.3 ERA in August, and then September just allowed 2 runs in that game. So I like the under in this one. I know both offenses are obviously really good, and they should be able to figure it out. But it is Cole and Matz, and Matz again, he's looked pretty good recently.
And by the way, on the FanDuel Sportsbook, usually each and every week they've been posting stuff on, the strikeout props here for Garrett Cole. But the good ones, like 6 strikeouts and the Yankees win, 7 strikeouts and the Yankees win, got up to 8 strikeouts and the Yankees win. Today, they're like, yeah, you know what? We're not doing that anymore. Yeah. So you take a look at some other odds boosts out there. There are some, 10-plus strikeouts, which he can get to. But you did like those little boosts like, hey, get Garrett Cole to 7 strikeouts and you pick up a dub in this spot. Kyle, looking at this game between Toronto and the New York Yankees, this is a monster playoff game and a monster playoff series heading down the stretch. Toronto Blue Jays hot, Yankees not so much anymore. How are we looking today in this game between the Blue Jays and the Yankees?
Well, the Yankees always make me nervous, right? It's just what it is. Like, it feels bad holding the bag when all the numbers line up for the Yankees and they just don't get anything done, especially, they're just notorious for not getting anything done early in the game. Garrett Cole, obviously exponentially better than Matz. You do have some guys here who've had some success. Stanton, Sanchez, Torres, Rizzo, all of them have homered off of Matz. But nonetheless, it does make you a little bit nervous. And when you see a team like Toronto, despite who's on the mound for the other team as an underdog, as a heavy underdog, it's a little bit enticing to sprinkle something on it. I will say the under 4.5 in the first 5 innings makes a lot of sense to me. I never trust the Yankees to score early. Should they hit Matz? Do they have the talent to hit Matz? Of course they do, but it's just not something that they do. And then you got Cole, who has been great against Toronto, great against everybody. Their lineups that combined 24 of 125. It's a 192 career lineup, the projected lineup for the Blue Jays against Garrett Cole in their career. I like the under 4.5 in the first 5 innings here. I don't want to hold the bag with the Yankees as that big of a favorite. Of course, I love Garrett Cole. He's a fantastic pitcher. But I think there's some interest here in a team with the pedigree of the Blue Jays, an important game for the Blue Jays. They certainly have the talent to get it done. So I might lean the Blue Jays as an underdog. Just for me, they're the best team who's an underdog on the card today. I like it when good teams are underdogs. I like to have my money placed on good teams. I think it's a dog or pass situation for me here. You can get the under 4.5 runs in the first 5 innings at -115.
Yeah, looking at the wild card standings here, the Yankees have a half-game lead over the Boston Red Sox, who then have a 3-game lead over Toronto. So how do you make up those games? You play these teams head-to-head. So another big game here in the AL East. Let's keep with the rundown here. Second game, we're going to talk about Tampa Bay and Boston. Rasmussen back on the mound versus Rodriguez, the lefty. And Jason, just taking a look at this game. Lefties on the mound over the last 30 days. You really don't want to run up against the Tampa Bay Rays, because if you take a look at the lineup up and down of what we anticipate, whether it's an ISO power number or electric weighted on base percentages, this is the team you don't want to face. But then again, if you're going to stack up a lot of right-handed bats like we figure the Tampa Bay Rays are going to do tonight, Rodriguez, 96 at bats, Jason, over the last month. 280 weighted on base percentage and an ISO power number of 114. What gives tonight in this game between the Rays and the Red Sox?
Yeah, so look, Eduardo Rodriguez, he faced this team just a week ago. 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 6 strikeouts, and 1 walk in that game. 94 pitches. Looked really good in that game, but like you pointed out, you have you have the Rays. Their offense looks really good. A 295 ISO and a weighted OBA of 430. I don't think we've ever seen that before for an offense all season long. So we're talking about a weighted on-base average of 430. That's like 43% of the time. That's ridiculous. But I don't think we've ever said that number before for an offense, this season. But again, we don't know exactly what the offense will look like when it comes to the Rays. They could always, send down a wild card or two in that lineup, and they could change it up a little bit. But again, that's really, really great. But also the Red Sox, it looks like their offense is starting to heal up a little bit from that COVID stuff. If you look at their lineup, yeah, there's going to be no Bogarts. But outside of that, they're more familiar faces back in the lineup. Hernandez, Schwarber, Martinez, Devers, Renfroe, Verdugo, Dalbec, Vasquez, and Iglesias, who was just acquired I think a day ago. So it's a great lineup there for the Red Sox as well. That's a 272 ISO, a weighted OBA of 385. So both offenses look really good. Both pitchers look kind of good against their respective offenses. So this is a tough one. I still would ride with the over in this game. But again, both pitchers have kind of looked solid against the opposition previously. So be careful, but the over does look good between these two offenses.
Yeah, taking a look at the Tampa Bay team total at BetMGM 4.5 at -115, Kyle. Taking a look at the lineups, I mean, when we like to see, certain ways that these batters and these pitchers line up with each other, Rasmussen isn't really a great pitcher, but then again, his xFIP is 433 over the past month. He's had really good stuff, 63 at-bats that he's faced between lefties and righties. He's handled his business, but there's a low K rate in those lineups there for Boston today. Weighted on base average is high. Both of these teams, if you're looking for runs in a small ballpark with two good baseball teams, this is the one that you probably would settle on, at least from matchups where the batters are comfortable versus lefties and righties here, Kyle.
Yeah, I agree. And, maybe I spoke out of turn here. Maybe the Rays right now are the best team who are an underdog today, not the Blue Jays. I spoke out of turn. You can get him at plus money in the first 5 innings. Now, look, is Rodriguez better than Rasmussen? He is. And he's got the potential to go further into the game. You're not going to see Rasmussen pitching in the 7th inning. That's not going to happen. But you do have that sort of possibility and upside for Rodriguez. And to his credit, in his last 4 starts against Tampa Bay, he's been very, very good. 49, 34, 34, and 46. So I get why the books are leaning a little bit here towards Boston because they do have the slight pitching advantage. But again, Rasmussen goes out, maybe gives up 1 run in the first 5, in the first 3 or 4 innings, and they go to that really, really good bullpen. And then it's tough sledding for Boston to score runs here. So the Rays are live dogs for me here. I like the Rays in the first 5 innings. If I was going to bet it, it would be a dog or pass situation. I'm looking at plus 110 on the money line in the first 5 innings for the Rays. The Rays are too good for me not to take a hard look at them when they're plus money. Same with a team like the Blue Jays. They figure out ways to win. They figure out ways to win against the Red Sox. Do I think the Red Sox have the pitching advantage? I do. I feel much more comfortable, though, taking a Rays team total because I'm not trying to battle up against that very, very good and stingy Rays bullpen. So for me, dog or pass. Again, I'll take the good team with the plus money in the first 5 innings. The Rays have been good to a lot of us lately, right? And I do think their team total is live as well. If I'm going to take one of the team's team total, it would be the Rays over 4.5 as opposed to Boston because of the bullpens. And I like him in the first 5 innings, plus 110.
Fantastic stuff. By the way, you know what else is fantastic stuff? 88,100 subscribers. So yesterday, move that up another notch. We're going to keep on that way to getting to 100,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for all your love and support out there all throughout all the shows that we do. We can certainly tell by the chat box every day popping, no matter what sport, where we're at. We are getting it done here. And also keep in mind the updates here at sportsbookreview.com. That'll be the baseball contest, which Lee Martin explained before, and also the NFL Pick 6 contest. We're going to keep pumping this out here. Look, it's go time this week. Get in and sign up. And by the way, Kyle, I've been lacking on this right now because I am already obviously signed into the SBR website, but I need to go back in there and activate it and get ready for this week because this is the start. I don't pick any college football games throughout the entire year. I go NFL each and every week. And boy, I wish there was an option for a team total because that would be fantastic stuff. But there's not. There's just sides and regular totals for the game. But really good stuff here. Check it out at sportsbookreview.com. $50,000 up for grabs. $1,600 per week. Get yourself in that contest. Measure yourself against us. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to take down Kyle with ease, just like I did last year.
Oh, how dare you? How dare you? I was dominant last year. Dominant. Carrying the torch for the show. I think I finished in the top 50, if I remember right, or top 40. I had a good little run at the end there. But no 6-0 weeks. Week 1, I plan on going 6-0 week 1. Week 1.
Don't go 0-6. Don't go 0-6. But then again, weekly prize winners is good. So if you go 0-6, don't knock yourself out like, I'm done. I'll never win this thing. No. Each and every week, we're handing out big-time cash here. And I'll tell you who's big-time cash and winning easily. Those Philadelphia Phillies yesterday over the Milwaukee Brewers. Wake up the Phils. Aaron Nola on the mound today. Let's see what goes on in this one as we set the table and hand this one over to Jason real quick. Nola and Lauer, the lefty. I said yesterday, looking at this, the way everything lined up, you got to get a win versus Lauer because the other games are going to be a struggle. You blow away the Brewers yesterday. Now you have Nola versus Lauer today. Hey, pick them across the board, 8s to 8.5, depending on where you're shopping today. Something has to give because to me, it looks too easy to say, hey, I'm going to take Lauer and Milwaukee, or I'm going to fade Aaron Nola. Look, he hasn't been that great. But if I'm from a betting perspective, you're just looking pitcher for pitcher. If they both bring their B stuff or higher, it's got to be Aaron Nola for me here, even though he struggled. This is a decent line here to take a look at the Philadelphia Phillies. Or do we look at the Philadelphia Phillies as that team that goes, hey, they have good games. They score 12. They score double-digit runs. Then they go back to getting 3 hits, let alone the 3 runs in a game, Jason.
Yeah, look, Lauer still has a 5.27 xFIP in his last 30 days, despite in August, a 3 ERA. Then in September, went 7 innings against the Giants, and allowed just 1 run, which was a 1.29 ERA. So, Yeah, he still has a 3.43 ERA on the season, but his xFIP is high, ground ball rate low, line drive rate high, hard contact at 56% in the last 30 days. So there's room for him to get rocked. And so far, he's been a little bit lucky as of late. You look at this lineup for the Phillies, they're going to have a lot of righties in the lineup, probably 6 righties in the lineup, and then you'll have 2 lefties in Harper and Gregorius. Then, of course, the pitcher. But you'll have a lot of righties in the lineup to go up against Lauer there. And like you said, Nola, the better pitcher, does have an xFIP that's really, really good right now, 3.48, striking out 32.7% of batters, also walking under 7% of his batters as well. So he's been a lot better compared to Lauer. And so I do like Nola in this spot, and I do have a little bit of play on this. We'll get to it in just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, there are some low. I mean, taking a look at over the last month here, both Lauer and also Nola, they do have low weighted on base percentages, the lefties and righties. But the hitters would be interesting today, Kyle, because I look at that lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers. It doesn't look overall powerful, and it hasn't been that way all season long. But they have the ability to get clutch hits and get timely hitting. There's a lot of high weighted on base percentages versus right-handed pitching over the past 30 days for that Brewers lineup that we anticipate tonight. Wong, Peterson, Yelich, Escobar, Narvaez, and Urias. Decent hitters in that lineup. Obviously, I only have to ask you who you trust on the back end of the bullpen more between these two baseball teams. Is this one where the Brewers are just, the pedigree is better than the Phillies? They'll wait out Aaron Nola in a close game and win on the bullpen? Or maybe this is one where Nola says, hey, I'm about to show up and be the ace that I'm supposed to be on the Phillies and go 7 innings of strong baseball here.
Well, when I back Aaron Nola, he likes to crap all over me. It's just something that he likes to do. I'm not exactly sure why. There's something he's got against me. He hates me. He hates my family. Everything. Aaron Nola just simply hates me. But I can't back Eric Lauer. I just simply can't do it. Now, again, this one, if you're betting it, you cannot take the Phillies full game. You got to do the first 5 innings. Why? Because once these teams get to the bullpen, the Brewers are exponentially better. So you don't want to be holding the bag with a 5-3 lead after 5 innings. And then, have it blown in the 8th and 9th inning because the Phillies bring in that bullpen while the Brewers are going to shut you down, right? I mean, it just makes sense. Now, I will say, Lauer has been fairly solid in his last couple of starts against the Phillies. For him, these are great numbers, 34 and 37 fantasy points. It's something you almost never see out of Eric Lauer. He's grossly overpriced on DFS. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pull there. When you look at the weighted 3-year OPSs here, Aaron Nola, it's a 656 against that projected Brewers lineup tonight. For Lauer against the Phillies, it's 863, so you've got a pretty big advantage there. And this is another spot, I sound like a broken record, but I like it when it works out this way. This is another one where Phillies minus 0.5 in the first 5 is plus 120. Look, Nola, I think, is a little bit better than Lauer. I don't think Aaron Nola is a Cy Young guy, but he's certainly, I would say, a higher echelon type pitcher than Eric Lauer. I do think the Brewers have more talent in their lineup, but the Phillies project better against Lauer. So for me, that's another plus money spot. I could see Nola outdueling Lauer. It will not shock me if Lauer gives up some runs early in this game. I'm going to take the Phillies minus 0.5 here in the first 5 at plus 120.
All right, big time for the Philadelphia Phillies as we're taking a look at that, AL East race. 4 top teams playing each other in series is fantastic stuff. As we careen down the stretch in September, every game matters. And I think if you're the Mets, you're San Diego Padres, the Cardinals, whoever's in that running to get that last wild card, when you see a team facing the Brewers, like, hey, that's an easy series win for the Brewers. This is a big-time baseball game for the Philadelphia Phillies today. We'll see how it matches up. Value menu wagers. As I said, thank you yesterday. Toronto Blue Jays scored 2 runs in the first inning. I'm like, man, 4.5 is in the bag. And then I sat there the rest of the game going, yeah, this is about what happens here in September where nobody scores for the rest of the game, but likely, a very nice top of the 9th inning. I believe they played at 5 or 6 runs, in the top of the 9th, which was great, able to cash that. I'm going to go with one play here on my value menu. Then over the next section, I'm going to give out 2 more plays. And you know where I'm going? Not with a great baseball team, but sometimes you have to get out here and trust the numbers. And that's with the Detroit Tigers here. There's 2 options that you have. I always like to pay down the option at BetMGM. 4.5 is a team total for the Tigers at minus 105, or you can opt for the 3.5 at minus 165, which means 4 runs and you cash a victory. Peters, the lefty, expected on the mound today, going up against the Detroit lineup. 5.31 xFIP over the past 30 days. He's faced 63 batters, but 51 of those from the right-hand side, a 340 weighted on base percentage and an ISO power number of 196. What are you going to get tonight anticipated from that Detroit lineup? All right-handed batters. Check this out. Weighted on base averages from the guys that we anticipate to be in the lineup tonight. 8 of them. 7 of those 8 are above average with weighted on base percentages. I'm going to go against that. I'm going to get a full 9 at bats here for the Tigers. I'm going to go to 3.5 at -165. I think they can get 4 runs tonight, and I think that's going to be able to cash in that ticket. Jason, value menu wager for yourself tonight, or more value menu wagers? What do you got?
Yeah, so I like the Dodgers over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total, going up against J.A. Happ. Happ just got rocked in his last start against the Reds. 1 inning, 8 hits, 7 runs, 2 home runs, 2 walks, no strikeouts, 52 pitches, could only get 3 outs with those 52 pitches. That's crazy, though, because he's still 8-7 with a 6.20 ERA. So he has more wins than losses throughout the entire season with a 6.20 ERA and a whip of 1.53. So, just had to throw that out there. And I'm just amazed by that stat alone. But this is the Dodgers, right? They're going to have a lot of righties in the lineup, like Albert Pujols, like Will Smith, Turner, Betts, Taylor. And then, of course, Happ has actually been a little bit worse against lefties as of late. His last 32 plate appearances against lefties, a 4.14 weighted OBA and an ISO of 333. So guys like Corey Seager, who have a lot of power against lefties to begin with, that they have a lot of potential there as well. So, I think the Dodgers are able to get 3 runs in the first 5 innings against J.A. Happ in this spot. We've seen Happ, have games where he's allowed 9 runs, 7 runs, 5 runs, 6 runs. So he's very capable of allowing 3 runs or more in this game. And, since he's come back, or since he's, pitched for the Cardinals, he's actually had 3 starts against the Pirates, 1 against the Royals, and then 1 against Cincinnati and 1 against the Braves. So if you look at all the stats, he's allowed 2 earned runs or less in every start, but that Reds game. But he's faced the Royals and Pirates 4 out of those 6 times. Those are 2 pretty poor offenses, especially against lefties. So take it for what it's worth, but I do like the Dodgers to get the job done and score 3 runs in the first 5 innings here.
Ow, Kyle, where we at? Fired on that fast food out here. Let's get some dubs.
This always happens to me where I'm like, okay, I'm just going to have value menu, no play of the day, and then I guilt myself somehow, some way. It must just be the people. And so I'm going to mix it up just a little bit. Now, this is steamed up a little, so that's why it's on the value menu. But I got to take the Braves in the first 5 innings over the Nationals, -0.5. It's -160. That's why it's on the value menu. Fried is exponentially better than Paulo Espino. I know Espino's had some moments recently, right? We're like, okay, maybe this guy isn't the worst pitcher in the league. That's, of course, J.A. Happ. And trust me, I was frantically looking to find J.A. Happ under strikeout props, but I just couldn't find one this morning because I would love that. I don't care if it's under half a strikeout. I might take it because the Dodgers should smash him. So I completely agree with that. I just couldn't find one. But look, Fried's been pretty good against Washington. It's the second lowest weighted 3-year OPS on the card of only 620. Then when you flip that around to Paulo Espino, a 789 in his last 5 starts against Atlanta, 3, 9, 6, 9, and 6. The Braves should hit here. I think the Braves team total is absolutely live. But on this value menu here, you got to go Braves -0.5 in the first 5 at -160. I was hoping for a better number as well, David. That's why it is on the value menu. And one more, look, James Caprillion, I know there's going to be a lot of righties in the lineup for the White Sox, and he's much better against righties than lefties. But Caprillion has not looked great to me over his last 5 starts, especially the last couple has been really, really mediocre. The White Sox at BetMGM, you can buy that team total down to over 3.5 at -140. I'll just be surprised if the White Sox don't put up 4 runs on Caprillion. This is not a very good pitcher. It's a high pedigree lineup, ton to play for. Probably, they're certainly in a discussion for best team in the American League, the White Sox here. They're going to have 9 at-bats being the road team. I think they get over 3.5, so I like that -140 over 3.5.
Yes, sir. I agree with that one coming up here shortly as well. You will see why I do agree. Also, odds at boosted section. You got to be kidding me yesterday. I thought I had this one in the bag. The Houston Astros go off, and I look at the lineup and say, okay, Carlos Correa, he's the final piece to this. I just need to get 1 RBI. He goes 2 for 3, and he does not get an RBI in that game. So say, my goodness, man, just missed out, but coming back strong today. One of my favorite type of, odds boost that they give on Fox Bet is, 3 really good hitters, each to get at least 1 base hit apiece. I'm going to do it again tonight. Harper, Miggy, and Freeman boosted from 200 to 275. A hit apiece, more than 1 hit apiece. Just everybody get in on this hit parade tonight so I can cash this one in because I thought I had a nice plus 333 winner yesterday. I'll tell you another interesting one out here that I did not take. Aaron Nola to record a win tonight. Now, the Phillies, as you saw, basically what, a -110, pick 'em. It's a +205 for him to get the victory. That shows you what they think of that bullpen here, where if Aaron Nola exits, Kyle, at 3-1, and they end up losing the game because they couldn't hold it down, it's not Aaron Nola's fault. But before I get to Kyle, Jason, odds boosted to the moon. Where are you at tonight?
Yeah, we're going with that exact boost, the Nola to get a win at +205. We just spoke about it.
I didn't know. Oh, man. Look at that. Blew up your spot.
If we have a 205 number, a +205 number, Nola goes 7 innings strong, and we're holding that +205 to get 6 more outs, I'm all for it. Yeah, it might get a little sweaty, but if Nola can go that 7 innings that we all kind of expect him to do, holding that +205 ticket with just needing 6 more outs to go, I think it's doable for the Phillies. And so I do like Nola to get a win at +205. I think the Phillies win this game outright, of course.
You know, it's interesting because I had no idea what you're going to pick, so it's nice I tripped all over the squad you're going to go with there. But I just pulled up DraftKings as I'm going over, and I said, this is really interesting because that boosted up a full $1 just to Nola to get a win. Because the Phillies are going to win this game. He's probably going to have the lead at some point where you leave it, but hopefully he can go 7 or 8 innings so you don't have to go too long in that bullpen, Kyle. Odds boosted up today on a Tuesday. Where are you looking, Kyle?
I thought the odds boosts were tough today. I was not in love with a lot of them. Then I found my guy, who everyone knows I love, my boy Austin Riley, to hit a home run. It's boosted from 250 to 300. For his career, 3 of 4 off Paolo Espino, 2 singles, and of course 1 home run. I think Austin Riley can get it done today. Espino gives up an 815 OPS to righties, about 10 points higher than he does against lefties. Riley's about 8 points higher, 759 to 834 against righties. Good success and limited at bats. Again, I like the Braves in this game. I hope the home run happens early. I like him in the first 5 innings. I like the Braves team total. They project beautifully. And the hitter that projects the second best outside of Freddie Freeman today is Austin Riley. I like him quite a bit, and I like him to get a home run today.
There you go. Hey, it is what it is. And by the way, speaking of home runs today, so I wake up this morning like, it's Tuesday. It's Dinger Tuesday. You know, I'm 8 for 9 on Dinger Tuesday. I'm like, boy, we're heading into September with some fire. Send the tweet out today and like 5 bings back. Hey, Don, awesome stuff, but there's no more Dinger Tuesday, fans. What? Like, what? What are you kidding? But did I shut him down? Remember we were talking about team totals on Caesars and William Hill where you beat the hell out of them? Like, yeah, we're done with this. Did I do this, guys? Did I do this and cancel Dinger Tuesday?
Did. You canceled Dinger Tuesday.
Damn.
I'm hoping.
Well,
let's see what I can do here. In maybe a different realm of baseball. But let's see. Hopefully I can bring back Dinger Tuesday for us after the show's over today and have some success. Let's try that. Let's go. I'm working hard on it. I'm sending the text messages out. We'll see what happens after I get home from the grocery store.
Man, I was so disappointed about it. But also on Caesars, there is Tuesday Dingers. It's not basically Dinger Tuesday where you pick a guy and then you get the home runs per game. They give you one game today, which I believe is not a bad game either. Let me see which one they're. The White Sox in the $25 free bet per home run hit for your team. So if you go in there, bet $50 straight up on the White Sox, they hit 2 home runs. You got your money back even if they lose that ball game. So it's an interesting thing, and they do a lot of really good stuff over there at Caesars. So, but not the true Dinger Tuesday that we're looking for. Best bets on the Major League Baseball board. They said I had a 3-pack today. I'm making it weigh them all equally today. So I'm going to go with a 2-pack right here. The New York Mets. I'm going with 2 teams at 3.5. One I can't believe was actually 3.5, which Kyle already brought up. But I'm going the New York Mets tonight here, 3.5. That's at -155. Looking at Cabrera, young pitcher on the mound, only 40 batters that he's faced over the last 30 days. But lefties are lighting this guy literally on fire. You're going to have a lot of lefties in the lineup tonight here for the New York Mets, but also even forget about the lefties. Add in some of those righties. There's a lot of extremely high weighted on base percentages here in that lineup tonight anticipated. Villar, 456. Lindor, 324. Alonso, 439. Conforto, 374. Look at Javi Baez. Mr. Thumbs down, 454 weighted on base percentage, coupled with an ISO power number of 400. And who knew Kevin Pillar would be the best power hitter on the Mets, apparently, at a 333 ISO power number and a 419 weighted on base percentage, 24 times he's faced a pitcher right-handed over the past 30 days. The second one I'm going with is the Chicago White Sox. And I got to tell you, Kyle, I know you brought it up. I had to go back and refresh my browser on, when I went to BetMGM. I said, wait, at 3.5, am I looking at the wrong team here? 3.5 -140. And it's not as if, Caprillian's a great pitcher. And it's not as if they're not going to stack a lot of lefties, which damage what Caprillian wants to do. Just look at the lineup up and down versus right-handed pitching for the Chicago White Sox. What do we have? 8 of the 9 batters elevated on weighted on base percentage. I have to be missing something here, but those are my 3 wagers for today, Jason. What do you think of today on your best bet and bankers and anything else you got here?
Yeah, I'm going to that game. I'm going to take the over 4.5 in the first five at minus 150. Like I said, Caprillion 6.16 xFIP, striking out 18.5%, walking 9.3, ground ball rate low, line drive rate a little bit high at 21%. Then hard contact also around 45%. To lefties, 435 weighted OBA, and his 59 plate appearances against lefties, ISO of 340. We'll see 6 lefties in the lineup, and then 3 righties will be the Robert, Abreu, Jimenez. All 3 of those righties can do plenty of damage against Caprillion, who still has a .191 ISO, which is still above average. To the righties at 49 plate appearances there. So lots to like in this lineup for the White Sox. 262 ISO, 399 weighted OBA, 18.1% strikeouts, so not very high in the strikeouts, and also hitting line drive rate 21.8%. Really, the top 7 batters are hitting line drives at a consistent pace right now against righties. Also, the ground ball rate pretty low for that team as well. Then you go to Oakland. They're going to be facing Jimmy Lambert. This will be his 3rd start for the White Sox. He's in for Giolito. I know Rodon's also hurt. So the White Sox, they need some starting pitching depth. They're hoping that this guy is the guy. Well, so far this season, a 9 ERA, a 2.13 WHIP. Allowed 13 hits, 8 runs in just 8 innings pitched this season in the MLB. His last start was dreadful against the Mariners. If you look at the Mariners, in his start went 1.1 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 5 fly balls, and not a single ground ball in 45 pitches in that game against the Mariners in a doubleheader game. So I think both offenses get the job done here. Even when you look at the Athletics, a 198 ISO, weighted OBA 343. Only one guy in that lineup for the Athletics has ISO power number below average. That's Elvis Andrus at the 9th spot. The rest of the lineup in the last 30 days, they've hit righties really well, have above average ISOs from top to bottom. So when we talk about that Dinger special on Caesars, both lineups have so much potential when it comes to power and ISO numbers. I know it's in Oakland, but they still get plenty of home runs between these 2 lineups. So going with that over 4.5 in the first 5 at minus 150. If you get that 5 at minus 105 or around plus 100, that's completely fine as well. If you're telling me and you get that 5, it's at least a push if you don't get anything more than that. So you can't kill me for that. So
there you go. We are, and by the way, if it doesn't happen, Jason, we will kill you for that, Kyle. Go ahead, man. Light it up. What you got today?
I'm going to go to this is the fate of Chichi Gonzalez. I mean,
Yes.
I'm glad the number's at 150. I was a little bit scared that it was going to be higher. But Logan Webb has been absolutely sensational lately. Now, he's struggled a little bit against the Rockies outside of his last start. But Chichi Gonzalez might be the worst starting pitcher we've ever seen grace the mound. And, I mean, we've had a lot of bad ones this year. But really, he is really, really bad. His last 5 starts against the Giants has never gotten even more than 20 fantasy points. You get the Giants minus 0.5 in the first 5 at minus 150. I will be stunned if the Rockies score more runs off of Logan Webb in the first 5. Logan Webb's been one of the best pitchers in baseball over the last couple of months, especially the last 30 days. I like Logan Webb a lot. Obviously cannot stay. I like Chichi Gonzalez because I like betting against him. Now, the Giants team total is outrageous today. It's at 6.5. And I know I said yesterday I can't really trust them to get to that. And then they did. They got to like 10 runs or something crazy. They just went absolutely off. But I expect the Giants to keep it going tonight. Gonzalez, not very good. Giants minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings at minus 150 is my play of the day.
All right, let's get to the odds. Lightning round, rip it around Major League Baseball, see if we can find some added incentive maybe to take some of these games. 963 and 964, Minnesota and Cleveland, Gant and Savali on the mound. Lines coming down a little bit here offshore. Pinnacle opened up at 143. That dropped to 130, but still across the New Jersey books here. FanDuel 142, DraftKings 140, Bet365 140, but a high over-under. Opened up at 9.5. Now we're seeing 10s across the board in this game. Let me just do a quick weather update here, and rightfully so. When I see those numbers going up, 16 miles an hour blowing dead out the center, about 86 degrees at first pitch. So maybe the windy conditions and the humid conditions can help out here, Jason. 6:10 start in this one.
Yeah, and look, and again, against lefties in his last 33 plate appearances, against lefties 241 ISO, and to righties 313 ISO in his last 35 plate appearances. So, yeah, if there was Dinger Tuesday, I think some of these Indians bats would be some of the guys that you'd look at here. Rosario, Ramirez, Reyes, Bradley all have high ISOs against righties in the last 30 days, and those 4 guys are huge for this bet here. I think the Indians are the play here against Gant. We do know that Gant is a guy that likes to get in a lot of trouble and then kind of get out of it. but eventually it's going to stop. And I think, the Indians, especially if they're top of the lineup, they can do some damage offensively. And once you hit a home run, you can't take that back and get away from the damage once the home run goes over the fence.
All right, hoping for some damage from me here. Kyle Peralta versus Peters, the lefty on the mound. Detroit and Pittsburgh, 975, 976. That's a 6:35 p.m. start in Pittsburgh in the Steel City. 9s across the board as a total, but roughly a pick 'em each way. I get those 9 at-bats from Detroit. No reason to believe. I did pay up for it, that 3.5. I think they'd get there. What are some thoughts on this game between the Tigers and the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Well, it's the highest weighted 3-year OPS on the card. This Tigers lineup versus the Pirates. They should score runs. I do not disagree with that team total. I don't know if I have that kind of courage today. I'm working on other side projects. I'm trying to keep my courage up. I don't know if I can do it with the Tigers. And I'll be honest, I was trying to find some under strikeout props for Peralta, who's just a terrible pitcher. And the Pirates don't strike out a lot. That's one interesting thing. The Pirates just don't strike out a lot, as bad as their lineup is. For the record, my under strikeout prop today, as I forgot to mention on the best bets, is John Gant under 3.5 strikeouts against Cleveland. Cleveland, the 9th fewest strikeouts in baseball as a team as well. And John Gant has only hit 4 strikeouts twice in his last 21 appearances. So I feel pretty good about that. So both teams actually should be able to hit. This will probably be a game with runs. I would lean the over here. I do like that Tigers team total. And like I said, the highest weighted 3-year OPS on the card. And the Tigers could be a sneaky little DFS option tonight, too, if you want to stack them and save some money. I don't mind that play either. The Haas's, the Scopes, the Grossmans, etc. should be able to hit tonight. Tigers team totals live. I'd lean the Tigers, but both teams should score over 9 runs for me.
All right, next game we'll talk about follow me to freedom, Jason. The New York Mets are the way to go tonight. They will hit tonight. I do believe it. And guess what? Nothing would make me smile more than a Marlins 6-5 win over the Mets tonight. We'll see how this one plays out. 7.5 across the board. Heavy favorite here for Carrasco. -175 to -180 in New Jersey. Offshore Pinnacle, 174. Opened up at 8 offshore, down to 7.5. I do think, as crazy as it sounds, I think the Mets can get a couple runs tonight. We'll see if it happens. What's your thoughts here?
So Carrasco on the mound. This is a guy that has allowed plenty of home runs early in games, especially in the first inning. So Carrasco might allow a couple runs early, and that will give you your little running mate there. The Marlins will have a couple runs, and that will make the Mets want to do some damage as well. And, of course, they're on the road, the Mets, so they'll have 9 innings. And like you said, Villar, Lindor, Alonso, Conforto, Baez, Pilar all have really great numbers against righties. In the last 30 days, they've looked really hot recently. They're scoring, in the double digits in a couple of games now. So this is kind of the Mets that we're used to, hitting opposite field, scoring with runners in scoring position, a lot of different things the Mets didn't do all season long. They're hard to do now. And yeah, it's against bad teams, but the Marlins are another bad team, especially in the field and stuff like that, where you can take advantage of that. So yeah, I like the Mets here. I think they got the job done and win this game, but Carrasco will probably allow 1 or 2 home runs early in the game. So just keep an eye out for that. If you want to go for the first 5 over for both teams or the Mets or whatever, there's a lot of ways you can go with this game.
375 watching here live on a Tuesday during football season. Way to bring the pain out there, chat box. Awesome stuff. Yeah. And by the way, we got to get some T-shirts out here. I would love if we had stuff like we could just give out, like, the SBR Major League Baseball show, and on the back of yes, you need a running mate, or boy, you profile really well against this lineup. Something like that's got to be put on some T-shirts.
Trash can pitcher shirt, right? We got to have the cans. We got to have
can, tomato can, trash
Jason's
can.
100 official plays every day.
Your odds boost. Just put that on the T-shirt.
Yeah, the odds boost. Gotta have that one. My favorite segment.
Just get right after it here. Kansas City, Baltimore, Kowar versus lefty Wells on the mound today. 10s across the board for totals. Roughly a pick 'em, 117 to 120 across the board as a favorite towards Kansas City. Again, it's on the Major League Baseball board. People will be betting this. My question is, Kyle, will you?
Well, I'm a little bit scared now to diss on Jackson Kowar. I went hard on him last time, and he comes out and has his best start of his entire life. So that son of a bitch is on my shit list, right? I hate myself some Jackson Kowar, and he is on my MLB The Show AAA team, and he always gives up runs. So I don't know what the hell happened last week. Both pitchers don't profile very well. It's a 3rd and 4th highest weighted OPS is on the card. Wells versus the Royals, and Kowar versus Baltimore. I do think there's runs in this game. These are 2 bad pitchers. These are 2 bad bullpens. The Royals should be able to score. Let me see what their Team total is right now as we sit. It's 5. So over 5 at 115, and the Orioles is over 4.5. I think those are live. I don't know how much you want to trust them. I'd probably lean the Royals. They did let us down yesterday on the value menu. They do profile nicely up and down the board. I think the Salvador Perez home run prop is absolutely live. For me, a slight lean to the Royals. But why do this to yourself? Turn this damn game off. We've got the semifinals of America's Got Talent tonight. Just turn that shit off and watch some America's Got Talent. Watch a cool magician do something awesome. Cry over the golden buzzer. Let's get rid of the stupid nurses choir. I'm done with the damn emotional choir. It's a crappy choir. They sing like crap, but because they're nurses and talk about COVID, they get voted through. I've had enough of that, America. Do not vote for the stupid nurses choir and turn off the Royals Orioles, but I would lean Baltimore or Kansas City here, and I do think their team total's live.
There you go. And by the way, also out there, a lot of people like the T-shirt ID. Jason Mullins, the SBR tank top. David Scope wants a T-shirt. And also Tony No Shoes. He prefers an SBR halter top he can rock around the house, Kyle. How about that?
Dang, I like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have a promo I got to do later for Thursday's show. I wish I had a halter top for that. That would get ratings. Let's go.
953 and 954, Washington, Atlanta. Espino on the mound versus Max Fried, a heavy favorite for Atlanta, 250, 240, depending on where you're shopping in New Jersey. Offshore, 228. But we do have 9s across the board. Espino's one of those guys that should get lit up. But every time you bet against him and watch it, he has that slop pitch. And if he just lobs it up there 6 inches off the plate and locates it, he's very frustrating. But when he can't do that, he should get blasted. Is tonight the night that he gets blasted by Atlanta, Jason?
Well, Atlanta 285 ISO weighted OBA of 370 against righties in the last 30 days. Really, the worst bat in the lineup when it comes to the ISO power numbers, that's Freddie Freeman, a lefty against a righty. So that just shows you how great this offense can be. They're not walking all that much, but they're not going to need to. Espino doesn't really walk too many batters in the first place. So you're going to see a lot of balls in play, and it's going to be quite the show there for Atlanta. But also Washington, I should say that their offense looks really good as well, although Fried has been, pretty, amazing as of late. 299 xFIP, striking out 24.4%. But the biggest thing, he's walking just 1.6% of the batters. But again, the Nationals, 229 ISO, 388 weighted OBA in the last 30 days against lefties. They do well against lefties. They have a lot of potential against lefties. So when you talk about that over being a 9, like that over 9, I think both teams can score. But again, Fried is way, way better pitcher in this spot. And just going off the Nationals offense, they've hit lefties well, but not every lefty is Max Fried. So be careful, but I would recommend the over in this game.
How about this one? Cincinnati and the Chicago Cubs here. Miley versus Sampson on the mound. Now, you do have a heavy favorite here, 150 to 160, depending on where you're shopping at for the Cincinnati Reds. But a red-hot lineup by the Chicago Cubs. And I circled 7 games on my card today. The Cubs were one of those teams, Kyle, that I circled 3.5, 135. I think that's doable. They are hot at the plate, man.
I'm not holding the bag with Wade Miley as this big of a favorite. It's just not going to happen. And look, he does have these moments where he's really, really good, including his last start against the Cubs. And then he has these moments. I mean, in his last 5 starts against the Cubs, he's have a point range of -1 to 52. I mean, that's just outrageous. So it just tells me you can't trust anything here. The Cubs are the hottest team in baseball. Winning 7 straight. Looks like it was a good idea to get rid of some of those punchless power hitters that have gone all over the place and done. I mean, is there a better guy to get rid of than thumbs down Javi Baez? Send him over to the hapless Mets. Thumbs down Mets. I love when I get to bag on the Mets. It just brings a smile to my face every time on the show. But no, I think the Cubs are a live dog here. It's a dog or pass situation for me. They actually profile all right. 734 weighted 3-year OPS. The Reds about the same, 768. Do like some of the lefties, obviously, in that Reds lineup, with Moustakas back in the lineup, et cetera. Joey Votto, 1 of 2 in his career. Barnhart's 1 for 2. So some small sample sizes here. Tyler Naquin, for the record, 3 of 4 with a home run. So the Reds do have some lefties who can cause some damage, even with Winker not in the lineup. But I'll say that the Cubs are live dogs here. I'm not holding the bag with Miley as that big of a favorite. It's just not going to happen.
Interesting stuff. By the way, Michael Billings says, Donnie, do you dislike the Red Sox playing Friday as crap as I did in the Reds -1/2? I don't like either of those. But by the way, does anybody get this right here? Billingsley, party at Taylor's. Billingsley, let's go. Anybody have the answer to that one? Anybody know that movie?
I feel like I should.
Come on.
I feel like I should. I'm kind of disappointed in myself. But,
hold on. Let me give you a hint.
Let me get something here. It's not going to be. Oh,
Did I give
let's
you a hint?
go. Okay. Well, I feel like that just gave the answer. That wasn't really a hint.
Yeah, it's also
I didn't
true.
even
Yeah,
get a
if you
chance to
couldn't read
answer.
that hint, I don't know what to help you out with.
Yeah,
I'm very
right.
disappointed in you two on that pop
I'm
culture
sorry.
reference hit there. Yeah.
I was thinking like 80s movies or something. I'm like, wait, is
Uh-huh.
it Fast Times at Ridgemont High? And I'm like, no, that's
Yep.
Spicoli and Damone. That's not the one.
Yep. It is what
Feel
it is.
bad.
Let's keep moving along. You guys missed it. I'm very disappointed in you two, but we'll get it back. And by the way, my favorite game that we like to play each and every day, the Dodgers don't have a pitcher yet announced. Hey, guys, slap a 210 on the board and have some fun with that. If the Dodgers are, St. Louis is looking to make the playoffs, and they're like, the Dodgers, who's your pitcher? We don't know. Give them a 2-1 price here, Jason.
Yeah, and even without the Dodgers giving out a pitcher, we're still going to take the Dodgers over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total here against J.A. Happ. Again, Happ has looked a lot better since coming over to the Cardinals, but again, he faced the Pirates 3 times, the Royals once. Both of those teams have been pretty bad against lefties, really all season long. And then his last start against the Reds. The Reds also weren't that great against lefties up until that point, and then they smashed Happ. And Happ has had so many games where he's allowed 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 9 runs in a start. So the Dodgers offense should be able to get at least 3 runs in this game. And you're getting the Dodgers at 2.5 in the first 5 at -110. Pretty fair price for this Dodgers offense that already got the job done yesterday in the first inning when it came to getting 3 runs there. So like Dodgers in this lineup, the righties should do plenty of damage, and also Seager, being one of the powerful lefties in the lineup, can do damage against Happ as well. So taking the Dodgers over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total, and I don't care who the heck the Dodgers pitchers is.
No, exactly. That's the whole great thing about team totals. We don't even care if the goddamn Dodgers even win the game at this point. Just score some runs out here. Seattle and Houston. Can Houston stay high? Gilbert on the mound today. 165s to 170s, depending where he's shopping at. 8.5s across the board. Gilbert versus Oder Easy down in Houston. Never easy to back Oder Easy, specifically at a -170 number, Kyle.
Yeah, just not going to happen. I will say you can get a depressed team total of 3.5 on the Mariners. I do think that's live. I mean, Oder Easy's Oderific, as we always talk about. It's a little tough for me to pick a side here because we're going to really back Logan Gilbert here against Houston. I don't think so. This is a very bad pitcher. Okay, this guy stinks. So I might be setting him up for his first ever no-hitter. But I'll be shocked if he gets past the 5th inning here. The Astros should score runs. I think both team totals are absolutely live, but it's such a, it's 4.5 for the Astros and 3.5 for the Mariners. I think they're both live. Then when you look at the total of the game, you're like, why is the total for this game sitting here at 9.5, 10 when the totals are so low? I think both teams hit their team total. I think this game goes over. I would lean the Astros here. I think they smash on Gilbert a little bit, but the Mariners do profile okay against Jake Odorizzi, as most teams do now. He's just not all that good. I know he's been sort of better here his last couple of starts, 33, 24, and 44. 2 of those games were against Seattle, in which he pitched really, really well, as a matter of fact. But I think both team totals are live here. And, of course, you got to lean the Astros. They are the better baseball team. If you want to take them in the first 5 innings, -0.5 in the first 5, -105 for Houston's a pretty depressed number. So, yeah, I think that's a fair number. Mariners team total, but Astros overall in the first 5 innings, I think you're getting a nice price and a decent number on both options.
People out here asking for SBR turtlenecks, wristbands, headbands. I'm telling you, I'll rock a nice SBR cardigan in the winter for some of these football shows. I will not let the people down in here. Webb versus Gonzalez on the mound. Quickly on this one between San Francisco and Colorado, high favorite. We had 162 as an opening offshore. Webb has been absolutely outrageously good over the past 30 days, looking at his xFIP number here. 12s across the board. What are they off to come? Can San Francisco get to 12 by themselves, Jason?
That's what would have to happen because, this is the biggest mismatch of the season. Chichi Gonzalez, 7.35 xFIP in the last 30 days. Logan Webb, 1.94 xFIP in the last 30 days. It's a big, big mismatch. Like the Giants here, all the way on the team total in the first 5, full game, of course. But I would not take that over 12 because really we don't know. Webb's been really good. We don't know if the Rockies can be able to score enough runs to help the over there. And you can't rely on the Giants to score 13 runs to get the job done there. But, yeah, I love the Giants in this spot. It's the biggest mismatch on the slate today.
All right, we're going to skip over the White Sox in Oakland. We hit that game ad nauseum today. So the next one up, 977, 978. That's Texas and Arizona. Spencer Howard, our good friend, is on the mound today. You know what? I heard he's ready to go. I heard he had some good sessions. He should be able to at least break into the third inning tonight as one of those big-time Phillies prospects of the past. 8.5 across the board going up against Zach Gallen. Another one of those games at 9:40 tonight. You should be tucked into bed on the East Coast and not watching it, but some people will be watching it, Kyle, and betting on it.
Yeah, I feel really bad for those people. This is just a bad baseball game. Now, I will say the Diamondbacks are exponentially better at home than they are on the road. It's not often where Zach Gallen is mentioned as the exponentially better pitcher in a matchup, but that is absolutely the case tonight. You get the Diamondbacks minus 0.5 in the first 5, minus 120. Anytime I can go against Spencer Howard in the first 5 innings, you can sign me up for it. I don't give a damn who it is. Makes me feel a whole lot better that the Diamondbacks are at home. Thank goodness they are at home. Zach Gallen doesn't profile all that terribly here. A 715 weighted 3-year OPS when you look at Spencer Howard. No shock here. It's an 855, much, much higher. I think the Diamondbacks get it done here. They probably win the game. I don't mind a first 5 full-time for the Diamondbacks. Both teams have really, really bad bullpens. But for me, I would focus my money on that pitching advantage. Gallen versus Howard. Diamondbacks at home. Give me them in the first 5 innings.
All right. That's last game of the game. Last game of the day. We'll talk about 10-10 tonight, 979, 980. Norton. Here he is again, Norton versus Blake Snell. How about this number? Minus 320 at FanDuel, minus 310 at DraftKings, offshore, minus 287, 7.5 across the board. Packies on the mound tonight, Jason.
Yeah, look, both offenses really don't profile all that well. The Padres, they'll limit their strikeouts, but I mean, ISO 151 and weighted OBA of 303. That's not going to get the job done when it comes to making the playoffs. So, you have Tatis, you have Cronenworth, you have Myers. Myers being the one bat that's actually done damage against lefties in the last 30 days. On the other hand, you have Juan Lagares, who's the one guy that's doing damage against lefties for the Angels, who has 400 ISO and a weighted OBA of 458. I'll tell you one thing, he never did that for the Mets. And so you can't really trust that or those stats either. So I like the under in this game. I think Snell obviously been one of the better pitchers within the last month with a 281 xFIP and striking out 41.4%. I wouldn't pay that price. What is it, like minus 300 for the Padres? So I wouldn't pay that price, but the Padres probably end up winning late in the game, but I think the under is a better play.
Awesome stuff, guys, as we round out that Major League Baseball card. And by the way, we did talk about that Pick 6 contest a little bit earlier. Get in the fun. A lot of you guys that watch the Major League Baseball show, watch the UFC shows, watch the soccer shows, watch the college football shows, NFL shows. We can all have fun with that stuff. Trade back and forth, see who's winning. Hey, I'm in 62nd place this week, or boy, I went 6-0, moved up into the top 10. Have a lot of fun with that. So sign up. It's free money that we're giving away on this, and a lot of fun and a lot of good content throughout the season, at least on the football shows as well for that contest itself. Same thing about the Major League Baseball contest. We're going to clear the bases and get out of here. But as usual, we'd like to let you guys know exactly what we are feasting on tonight. I got a 3-pack tonight. Detroit's team total. Also capped up with the Mets team total. The Chicago White Sox team total. All at 3.5 at various juices. 165, 155, and minus 140. I'm taking it down tonight. I'm feeling good on a Tuesday. There's no Dinger Tuesday. I'm upset about this, but I'm also going to cash in on that odds boost. Harper, Miggy, and Freeman. Plus 200 boosted to plus 275 each to get at least one base hit. I think that gets done tonight, Jason. What do you got tonight on the wrap-up?
I'm on the Dodgers, over 2.5 in the first 5, and the team total at minus 110 via DraftKings as a value play. Also like Nola to get the W at plus 205 on DraftKings, which is an odds boost. I think the Phillies get the job done and win that game outright, of course. And then the big play for me is the over 4.5 in the first 5 at minus 135 between the White Sox and the A's on MGM. So I think Caprillion and Jimmy Lambert are both going to get rocked today.
Clear him, Kyle. Clear him. What do you got?
Okay, let's try to remember. So we're going to go on that value menu. We're going to go the Braves minus 0.5 in the first 5. That's sitting at minus 160. We also got that White Sox team total over 3.5 at minus 140. Our play of the day is the Giants minus 0.5 in the first 5. That's at minus 150. The John Gant under 3.5 strikeout prop. That's sitting at minus 105. So you get a nice number there. Some outlets have that at plus money. Odds boost, Austin Riley to hit a home run boosted to 250 from 250 to 300 over at DraftKings. My home run prop list for tonight, we've got Joey Gallo, Pete Alonso, Austin Riley, Salvador Perez, Max Muncy, Rafael Devers, and Fernando Tatis Jr.
It was a couple months ago. We were trying to squeeze this show into a half hour, but the people said, God damn it, let these guys riff. So here we are running up against hours daily now. So it's all for the people. It's all for the people in the chat box. But we thank you guys for tuning in and supporting us here at sportsbookraview.com. This was your Tuesday show. And I think we got some good plays out there to cash in on tonight as baseball still takes center stage tonight. I'm Donnie Seymour along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We're the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. This was your show for Tuesday. And as always, good luck on those wagers.